We've been thinking about people sharing the gospel in a time of crisis and conflict. We have someone here who has come from a place of crisis and great uncertainty. Some of you might have met Timothy. I just want to introduce him to you quickly. Timothy, come and join me at the front. Wherever, there he is. Give him a round of applause. Timothy, I'll let you tell people, where are you originally from?
North Korea. We just heard the weapons being used against Ukrainian people, and we heard a lot of tragic stories. Yeah, I feel like I want to cry, but I'm holding my tears.
You're not living in North Korea, obviously, now. Where are you living?
I live in the United Kingdom now, Manchester.
Yeah.
I'm a United fan.
Monty will never talk to you again. Yeah. But Adam is your friend forever. Now, we haven't got time to hear your story, but your story is amazing. Not only how you ended up in the UK from North Korea, but even more importantly, how you came to know Jesus through that whole process. But you've had the opportunity, people will happily chat to you and you can tell your story over mealtimes, but you've had the opportunity to share your story with a few interesting people, haven't you? I think we've got some pictures on the screen, possibly. Do you want to tell us about some of the opportunities you've had?
I never thought where I am and what I'm doing as an advocate. But God has given me a very deep heart, given this calling to speak on behalf of voiceless and persecuted people in North Korea and also other countries, because we share that suffering and darkness, what's going on. And so I was once invited by Pope Francis to testify what persecution means and what is going on inside the darkest country.
Yeah. And someone else that some of us have seen around recently?
Yes. His name is King.
And I think this is quite a famous address in the UK, isn't it?
Yeah, it's called.
Yeah.
So it's number 10. And I was glad when the war broke out in Ukraine. Number 10 was running to Ukraine and mobilizing countries and standing up together. I think there is still fighting going on in many parts of the world. Yeah. But we also have a good news inside there. That's what we are praying for.
So the Pope, the King, the Prime Minister, but also you've had the opportunity to speak in some really important places. Tell us about these.
But that was a Cambridge Christian Union. When I invited, he was there actually. So the guy sitting next to me is Mike Odd, and we've been to several universities around the UK and telling them good news and why we must stand and pray together for our persecuted brothers and sisters around the world.
And so,
because we haven't got enough time, I will just very briefly share this. I have seen broken pieces of my family when I was 9, and I survived on the street in North Korea. And I have seen children died on the street, and I've seen someone executed in front of my eyes when I was 11-year-old. And during my twice escape and 4 times imprisonment, 3 times were in China and 1 time was back in North Korea, I've seen darkness prison cells, particularly inside the North Korean prison cell. Someone died while leaning against my back. All this darkness and suffering when my hope was totally lost. When there was nowhere I could turn, but there was someone called God, and I knelt to God for my survivor. And I asked him, if you're during my 4th imprisonment in Shanghai, if you're really, really there, God, you are exist in this world. You give me my freedom. Then in return, I would devote all my life to you. But if I was sent back to North Korea, I was executed or I was killed, by my own hand, I told God I was going to deny his existence. I challenged when I was 17 God's authorities because I was so afraid and scared to be killed because I saw a different world outside. And God brought me up here today because of that. And what I can tell you one thing, we all know that. I know a lot is going on around the world. And suffering, persecution, it's painful. And it is a trauma, nightmares. But there is also beauty. Because suffering does not destroy faith, but refines it. One of our brothers, Dietrich Bonhoeffer, 8 years ago, who stood as a German citizen, who stood against Jewish persecution, he died in prison. He said that silence in the face of evil is itself evil. God will not hold us guiltless. Not to speak is to speak. Not to act is to act. I think we heard enough today, and our heart must cold. And God wants us to stand together in this darkness moment. And there is good news, and that beauty is in this room and across the world as well. God bless you, brothers and sisters.
Thank you, Timothy. Thank you.